Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of my videos. I'm currently in Gold Coast and I'm about to catch a tram and then a bus to the airport. Let's get going. Here is Gold Coast Airport, located in Coolangatta. The thing I find interesting about Gold Coast Airport is that most of the terminals and half the runway are in Queensland, while the other half of the runway and part of the terminals are in New South Wales. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I am really looking forward to my flight today. I'm travelling from Gold Coast to Melbourne on Bonza. The reason I am really excited about it though is because it's operated by Flair Airlines, which for those who don't know is a Canadian budget airline. Not many people would be excited to fly budget airline, but I'm looking forward to finding out what Flair's planes are like. The check-in process is no different to a normal Bonza flight. There is not a heap of options for food after security at Gold Coast Airport, but it's okay. Majority of the gates at Gold Coast are on the ground. This aircraft here is similar to what I'll be flying on. It is owned by Flair and on lease to Bonza. You can see where the Bonza logo has obviously covered up a Flair logo and the tail has been painted as Bonza's tail. The engines remain the green Flair colour and the back of the fuselage is still black. The livery on this plane is referred to as a Bonza and Flair hybrid livery and is nicknamed Flonza. This aircraft, which is one of two, doesn't have Flair on the winglets. I was hoping I wouldn't get this aircraft because I've got a view of the wing and I wanted to be able to have the Flair logo on the winglets. So at this moment I was pretty happy because I'm getting the other aircraft. If you didn't know about Flair's planes operating in Australia, you wouldn't even know you're travelling on it until you're on the plane. Unless you catch Bonza regularly, a normal passenger probably wouldn't even know that it's any different. There is nothing that says operated by Flair when booking, but I found out when you're choosing your seats, it will show a different layout to how Bonza's is, as they have different seats in the plane. My flight was due out at 5:05 PM Queensland time, and we began boarding just before 4:40. After a short walk, we reached the aircraft. Its registration is Charlie, Foxtrot, Lima, Kilo, Charlie, also known as CFLKC. It is a 4-year-old 737 MAX 8. Before I boarded, I had no idea if the seats had been replaced with Bonza seats, so I was very happy when they weren't, as this is one of the reasons I wanted to go on this flight. I knew this was probably unlikely, but I still had a gut feeling that it might have happened. Flair is ranked as one of Canada's worst airlines based on reviews, but I think it may be different today because we're not in Canada. Here's my seat for today, 19F. I'm located a couple rows back from the emergency exit rows.
By Flair Airline, if you haven't already downloaded the Bonza app for all food and drinks and entertainment and budget stragglers. If you need any help, please do not hesitate to call up upon us. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome you all aboard your Bonza flight 1637 departing shortly from beautiful Melbourne. I had the extreme pleasure today to be flying with a good old friend of mine, Captain Will, together on our flight to Melbourne, 746 nautical miles at altitude, up to 36,000 feet. Flight plan showing 1 hour and 57 minutes under generally smooth conditions. I'll ask you, however, to respect the seatbelt sign at all times for your safety and, of course, the safety of those around you. Latest weather for Melbourne is showing gusty surface winds out of the north. Clear of cloud currently with a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. And expecting some bumps as we descend on into Melbourne this evening. Again, that's due just to the gusty surface conditions. Do want to thank you very much for joining us. Sure hope you enjoy this sector. You will enjoy this sector, and we'll get back to you with an estimated time of arrival and the latest weather at top of the descent. Thanks very much for joining.
Two on either side. Each exit is clearly marked. Please look around and locate your nearest exit and your nearest alternate exit. Keep in mind your nearest exit may be located behind you. In the event of reduced visibility during evacuation, escape path lighting running the assistance. Put on your own mask first and then assist your fellow traveler. A reversible life vest is located in a pouch beneath your seat. To retrieve the life vest, pull the red tab forward. When removed from its casing, it looks like this. To put it on, slip it over your head and wrap the strap around your waist. Fasten the clip in front of the vest. Please place your seat back and chair tables to the upright and locked position. Also, all carry-on baggage must be placed under the seat in front of you or in the overhead bins above. We thank you for your attention and wish you a pleasant flight.
The safety briefing sounded like a recording, unless someone was just very good at their job. Bonza doesn't only use Flair's planes, but the crew also come over from Canada to operate the flights. They still read out the Aussie menu and all the slang words, but it obviously sounds different because they've all got a Canadian accent. I found it interesting that half the crew were wearing the Bonza uniform and the other half were wearing the Flair uniform. Before getting on the runway, we saw some plane spotters which are on the right of screen. We taxied onto the runway to take off at around 5:10. For takeoff, we used runway 14. At the start, the journey was smooth. About 15 minutes into the flight, we hit some turbulence. The turbulence was on and off for about 20 minutes. If you look closely, you can see the wing bouncing around a lot. You can't really tell from this video, but it was still really shaking. break from the turbulence, I make it time to do a seat review. The seats are in the standard 3-3 configuration. There is no screen, a good sized tray table which folds down and can slide towards you or away from you. There is a seat pocket with the Flair 737 MAX 8 safety card. When watching this back, I actually realised that I forgot to grab the safety card out of the seat pocket, so sorry about that. Also in the seat pocket, there is instructions on how to order food and see the in-flight entertainment on Bonza. This is done by using the Fly Bonza app or the website listed on this card, and the legroom is pretty decent for a budget airline. There is no headrest on the seat. The armrest can be lifted up and there is a button for recline, but no matter how hard I push, the seat would not go back, so I would just say that the button is just there by default when the seats are ordered. Above you, there is individually controlled air vent, and as well as that, there is an individually controlled reading light. And for anyone wondering, these were the windows I had at my seat. There is also the Boeing Sky interior. Soon after the turbulence, crew make ordering food available again. Bonza have a selection of food, non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks, and merch. Food is referred to as tucker, and most of it is Australian snacks, or at least the company is. Same goes for the drinks. The drinks are referred to as thirst quenchers. The alcoholic drinks are referred to as booze. For merch, there are budgie smugglers and keep cups. There is a range of combos when buying food. As well as food, there are other things on the onboard website. I ordered a brownie, a Saxby's Cola, a Canadian Mate's Keep Cup, which says Flair Airlines on it, as well as a Shazza Keep Cup, which is one of the names of Bonza's planes. I chose Shazza because I flew on that plane to Mildura on the inaugural flight from Melbourne back in May 2023. The brownie tasted really nice. I really like these Keep Cups. On my drink it says Diet Cola, but it was the only option. My drink wasn't anything special, but it was still nice. I was still a little bit hungry since the brownie was so small, and I hadn't eaten lunch, so I also got a warmed up blueberry muffin.
Melbourne area here, 8 or 9 minutes. Showing 190 track miles to fly, landing this evening on runway 34. Air traffic control due to the number of aircraft flying into Melbourne and these runway this evening. Has slowed us up, so we've just lost 7 or 8 minutes on our time. Otherwise, we would have been right on time for the gate. We're now showing a touchdown time of 8:26. Again, subject to air traffic control. And on the gate, 4 or 5 minutes thereafter. Latest weather for Melbourne showing gusty winds out of the north. Temperature 25 degrees under clear skies. I want to thank you very much for joining us this evening. Hope you've enjoyed the flight. We look forward to seeing you next year.
also forgot to show the safety card. You can kind of see it here. When we were flying over near Shepparton, Victoria, we started to descend. As we started to get closer to Melbourne, there was a really nice sunset, and it kept getting better by the minute. If you look closely, you can see a V-line velocity train on its way to Bendigo going through Diggers Rest Station. For the rail enthusiasts, this is Newport Railway Workshops, home of heritage groups such as Steam Rail, 707 Operations and others. Today we will be landing on runway 34. This runway offers great views of the city, the Westgate Bridge and the docks in Melbourne, as long as you're on the right side of the plane. So let's talk cost. I booked this flight 3 weeks before its departure on a sale. Bonza had heaps of seats available for $59 one way, but it was only for travel during January. The $59 does not include checked baggage or seats, so once you add those two on, it was about 80 to 90 Australian dollars. That is still a very cheap price for a Gold Coast to Melbourne flight. Before we land, I think I know how to work out if your plane is operated by Flair or not, but what I'm about to show you could be wrong. So, if I book from Melbourne to Gold Coast, which I know is operated by Flair, just keep in mind that Flair is not operating with Bonza forever, and it's currently most likely just over the years of the end of 2023 and the start of 2024. Then I need to type in my name. The aircraft was Bonza, then there should be stretch seats. This aircraft only has Stretch Plus and Prime. Whereas if I book a flight from Melbourne to Bundaberg, you can see in between Stretch Plus and Prime, there is a section of stretch seats. I think this means it's operated by a Bonza aircraft. I mean, on this flight, it definitely is, because Flair's planes are only operating at a Gold Coast. In the distance, you can see Eston Fields Airport. This once served as Melbourne's international airport, until Tullamarine opened in 1970. Essendon is still used by small carriers that do domestic flights, but basically every commercial flight is a prop jet.
Is 8:26. For your safety as well as the safety of the passengers that are sitting around you, we ask you to please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened and your cabin baggage securely stowed until the aircraft has come to a complete and final stop at the terminal building and your captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt sign. Mobile receiving and transmitting functions may not be used. Please ensure that you have all your personal belongings with you upon leaving this aircraft and use caution when removing articles from the overhead bins, as the contents may have shifted during the flight. Please be reminded that smoking is not permitted until you are in a designated smoking area. If you require any assistance upon deplaning, please remain seated and we'll be happy to assist you once that has become free. Please do not use any headsets on the apron while walking to the terminal building and be alert to other aircrafts and vehicles. On behalf of Captain and your in-flight crew, thank you for flying with Flair Airlines on behalf of Bonza, and once again, welcome to Melbourne, and we wish you a pleasant evening.
If the plane was a bit late, I wouldn't have been mad because the sunset got even better when we were on the ground. For those interested, the tower on the left is Tullamarine's old air traffic control tower, and the one on the right is the new one.
Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. Thank you.
The plane arrived into Terminal 4. Here's another look at the sunset. Now that we're in the terminal, let's go over how the flight was. The aircraft was a tiny bit dirty, but it wasn't that bad at all. I just thought I'd better mention it. The crew were really friendly and helpful. The food was nice, but that depends on what you order. We left on time, but we arrived about 6 minutes late because of that turbulence. The seat was okay for a 2-hour flight. I wouldn't really want the same seat on a long-haul flight though. I had fun on this flight knowing that it was a Canadian plane and having the Canadian crew on board, so it was a decent experience overall. I would definitely do this flight again. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope to do more of these videos in the future. Please like if you enjoyed as well as subscribe. But in the meantime, bye for now.